What if I told you you could be one of the top baseball players of your generation? You could have a relationship with one of the most beautiful women in the world, and people would give you flack for it. You can have the future Oscar-winning actress in her prime and live to tell the story. Dave Justice sat down with Matt Barnes on a special episode of All the Smoke, and he had this to say.
So, I didn't really have any really real personal stuff until, Halle and I got together, you see. And of course, that was a lot of focus because back in them times, I can't think other than Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe. I can't think of anybody before that was us.
Come on, man.
Damn, that's a bar. You got the Hollywood starlet with one of the top athletes at the time. That is a bar. He's right. I don't think we've seen that too often.
Come on, man.
I can't think of no one. Mm-hmm. And then Halle coming up young and being hot and just trying to make her career. And then you got me. And, it really wasn't a lot of negative attention until I decided to leave her in 1996. I remember Halle saying to me, hey, she asked me to marry her after knowing me for 5 months.
Ooh, hold up. You're not just going to slide by on that. You mean Halle Berry asked this man to marry her? I think I knew that, but I was very young. I was very young at the time. But that in itself, it's the play of the century right here. He caught one, man. But I think what he's going to say next will put all of that into perspective. All that glitters is not gold.
And I said, okay, but because I couldn't say no.
Who's going to say no at that time?
And I said, okay, but I don't know if my heart was really into it.
Right.
But I didn't want to make her feel bad and say no, or I was just in the moment. It caught me off guard. But I was like, cool, we getting along, we vibing. We're only 5 months in. We still in the honeymoon state. And then all of a sudden, that followed up. I met Halle in May of 1992. So you talking about, then we got married January 1st, 1993.
Damn.
Right? And, but we spent a lot of time apart because she was doing movies in this country, that country. And
that's the reality of a relationship with a high profile actress. I had a thought about that the other day. The real of the situation is you're going to be separated most of the time. You're not going to be in the same location based on your baseball schedule and her actress schedule. She's going to be in Europe half the time. She's going to be in Canada. She's going to be all over the place. The time that you have together is probably pretty limited unless you make an effort to be there in the off season and whenever you get a break, whenever you get some downtime. So that was rough. They started off with a lot of strikes against them in this relationship. And I was looking up to see what year it was. That's why I was looking at my phone. 93, they got married. So they were dating from 91 to 92 and married in 93. Yeah, those were the days, boy.
we probably could have made it. If I knew about therapy, if we knew about therapy, we probably could have made it because we never had any major issues like that. Mm-hmm. It's just that because I was young and had only been in, honestly, one real relationship before her. My knowledge and my understanding, my wisdom around relationships just wasn't vast. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at my mom.
You're in your 20s at that point. You just getting out of your mama's house, like he's about to say.
And I'm a Midwest guy, so in my mind, I'm thinking a wife at that time should cook, clean.
Traditional.
And then I'm thinking, okay, if we have kids, is this the woman I want to have kids with and build a family with? Oof. And at that time, as a young guy, she don't cook, don't clean, don't really seem like motherly. And then we start having issues. Listen, we never, I'll say this. We never had any issues about other women, other men. Mm-hmm. I was never tripping when Well, I was tripping one time when she.
Hold on, I got one time I was tripping.
At one time, because
Just
I didn't
one time.
understand it. When we were out to lunch in LA, and I remember I'm from Cincinnati, man. I ain't even in LA scene like that. And she see an actor that she worked with one time, and he came in, hey, kissed him on the lips.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
What are we doing around
Was
here?
he European or
happens.
American? I'm
Yeah,
confused.
American.
What the fuck is going on
What?
here?
Oh, so I know this is gonna be a conversation.
Right.
So we get home and I ask about that. Oh, that's what we do in LA. Oh, okay then. So now her manager and I used to go to this restaurant all the time. I had a young lady at the front seat.
Vincent Cirencione, anybody? I know Vincent Cirencione. I met with him back in the day. A little bit after this era, you know what I'm saying? I'm a lot younger than they are. Yeah, he was a piece of work in itself. Now he's got to go through her manager a lot of times, probably to find out where his wife is. Can you imagine? This was doomed from the start, like really. I mean, like he said, if they had had a little bit of therapy, maybe they could have made something happen. But who knew about therapy in the 90s? In the 90s, we didn't need therapy. In the 90s, did we not need therapy? Like, I think I did go to a therapist in the 90s.
All the time. We went there so much, she became so friendly. We got the hugging her every time we come in. Hey, how you doing? Just regular hug. Take Halle and his wife to lunch one time. I said, Halle, this is such and such. This is Halle, right? Halle looked at that girl, saw how fine she was. Man, she gave her one of them, like barely touched her hand, right? Just played her crazy. I was embarrassed, bro. I was embarrassed. I was like, but wait, hold on. I just hugged the girl.
Right.
You kissed this dude, and you mad at me because I hugged the girl? So remember, we young. So, young, you get petty.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You petty when you're young. And there's things you just do that are petty when you're young. Well, anyway, the honeymoon stage was over, right? And now it's just David and Halle. And when it's just David and Halle, I just realized this is not the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. So February 1996, I told her, hey, I can't do this no more. We don't have any kids. You said you wouldn't want any money from me because really she didn't have any money. I was the one who bought the house in LA. I was the one who had my house in Atlanta. I'm really footing everything.
Now, we need to make that distinction very clear because there's a lot of women that snap judged this situation of him telling this story, retelling this story. They used Halle Berry at 2025 net worth Halle Berry and said, obviously, this black man couldn't have been footing the bill. Who is this guy? They don't even know who Dave Justice is. Dave Justice was one of the top paid baseball players in that era of the 90s. Like rookie of the year winner. You know what I mean? Like he was the real deal. People have to use their frame of reference. Like I said, I was very young during this time. A lot of people that are in the comments probably weren't even born. So they have no idea about this relationship, but they just hear somebody talking about Halle and they're like all of a sudden snap judging. They're gonna make this thing like this girl. Halle Berry, a household name, was supposed to take time away from her breadwinning career to cook and clean.
And I said, you said you didn't want any money, so we don't have any kids.
It's a clean
we
break.
should just make a clean break.
Let's go.
And she was like, no.
What?
No. And then all of a sudden I find out I got all these women. I find out I'm doing all this other stuff. And so what she was doing is, see, I'm just an athlete. I don't have managers. I don't have this system behind me.
A
You
team.
see, she got managers. She got all this kind of stuff.
She got the machine.
She got the machine. So you got the machine now coming against me. And I remember my mom saying to me, she was like, listen, baby, all the media want to do is see you two, you young black kids fighting with each other. She said, you just take the high road and let her say whatever she want to say, but I don't want you out here talking bad about that girl. My mama said this to me. I'm an only child, raised with just my mom.
So that's a very noble thing for his mother to say. But, I mean, if we know how history served Halle Berry's relationships, Eric Benet also faced a similar smear campaign. Like he said, I'm finding out I have all these women on the side. I'm finding out I have all this negative stuff in the media because I'm breaking up with Halle Berry. Now that's crazy. You know, I always said there's something about Halle that is probably makes it not a situation you would want to be in. You know, and I think he probably experienced some of that along with the not wanting to do any cooking, not wanting to do any cleaning, nothing. But I think it's interesting that he took his mother's advice there because it might have actually saved him a little bit because he still had a public persona to protect. He still had a life to live outside of this relationship, and he's going to have to get sponsors and all types of shit. Boy, if he comes off and dogs her out the way she tries to dog him out, well, then we got a problem.
What my mom said was gospel.
Right.
So I said, okay, Mom, I won't salt her like that in public. I might talk a lot of junk to the boys, but I ain't gonna say nothing in public. And I didn't, man. I didn't. I just watched her say all this stuff about me, and I was like, and so crazy is the one thing that probably I would say hurt the most is Halle had a relationship with a gentleman who hit her on the side of the head. And so she lost some hearing. But she never made him public. And I'm not gonna make him public because I ain't gonna do him like that. I know who it is.
Worst kept secret in Hollywood, let me just say.
But for people to think, oh, it had to be David Justice because the only person they associated her with was me. Now she said it was a former boyfriend. I'm not a former boyfriend, I was her husband.
Right.
That's different.
Right.
But literally from 96 until even today, sometimes I'll see something on social media. Well, he hit her in the head. And I'm like, oh, that's just a quick Google search.
Yeah.
Do a quick Google search. That girl.
I just saw that in the responses to this video online. That's crazy. He's not lying about that, man. Once you get, you know, like you're guilty by association. There's no way to really fix it at that point because something traumatic happened to her. And she didn't go out of the way to say, no, it wasn't Dave Justice, my ex-husband, because she was mad. You know what I mean? She was mad. So, you know, that's you got to protect yourself at all times, fellas. And like, you know, I say his mother gave him some decent advice. At the same time, you do not want to become a victim to a narrative. You don't want to become a victim to, oh, he's the worst guy in the world. You know, he broke up with Halle Berry. Of course, people are going to be mad at you, but you don't want that jacket on you. That he's still dealing with this, I don't know, 34 years later. That's insanity.
He never said I hit her in the head. But one thing I didn't like is, but she let you think that.
Right.
She let the world think it.
That's tough.
She didn't come out and say,
That wasn't him.
oh, no, it wasn't David. But I'm not going to say who it was, but it wasn't him. No, she let the world think that it was me. And that I never appreciated with her. I thought she was dead wrong for that. I thought she should have handled that better. And I always say it like this, man. If I was so bad, you would think she would keep my name out of her mouth. She would be so happy I left, right? If I was so bad as a husband, she'd be like, whoa, I'm so glad he left me, boy. Because it ain't like it was hard for her to find a next dude, right? She kept my name in her mouth because she wanted to be with me. She wanted us to work out.
He was the one who got away.
I know now that I've gotten a lot older and I look back, I mean, it's been a long time since I look back on that situation, but when I probably got probably like in my 30s, and I was more mature, and I look back on that situation, and I'm like, you know, that girl really, really did love me, you know, and
interesting.
I can see why she would be so mad at me. Because imagine if you really love somebody and they tell you they want to break up and there ain't nothing you can say to get them back. That's had to be tough on her.
We say it all the time here online, and I don't know if people actually pay attention, but the worst thing you can do to a woman sometimes is reject her because they're just not used to taking rejection. Everybody's been telling them yes their whole adult life to sleep with them or to get in bed with them or to get close to them or to get some type of attention from them. And you being a man of value, rejecting a woman is like, and then a woman like Halle Berry, I mean, I'm not even joking here. Halle Berry was the most beautiful woman. She was the most beautiful woman for like 15 years running. And like still at 60 something, she's still hanging. You know what I mean? She's still hanging. But that rejection piece, oh boy, that gets them every time, man. Just try it. Just try it in your life. Say no every once in a while. The power of no. That's what the old books used to say. The power of no. My no is final.
They tell you they want to break up, and there ain't nothing you can say to get them back. That's had to be tough on her. I just wasn't emotionally mature at that age to really truly understand the magnitude of how she was really feeling, and I would have did things different back then too. I wouldn't have just, man, literally when I left her, I didn't even talk to her no more. Like, that is so, that like, I didn't even ease out. Hey, I don't want to be together no more.
Gone.
That's cold.
Gone. You see? I mean, I could have massaged that better, Matt. I could have. So back to the point of the focus in the media. Probably the best thing that happened to me is, this was February 96 when I left her. I only played 6 weeks of the season that year. I blew my shoulder out.
Okay.
So I saved myself a whole year of fans
Questions and
just
craziness.
burying me.
Because I was going to ask too, I mean, obviously people expect us to be superhuman. And when we go through real off the field or off the court, there's no excuse in our profession. So I was going to ask you, did it affect your playing at all? But you didn't really.
I actually started out great. I started the season great. I wasn't hearing too much junk on the road yet, but I'm sure it would have heated up, you know, and I never, the only time that, listen, it became
They would have been in the crowd like, Halle Berry, Halle Berry. Every time he was up the bat, that would have been horrible.
That people would say to me on the road. They would always say, you know, Halle left you, or they would say real nasty stuff about what they've done with Halle since you know she left. You know, people are ignorant in the stands. You know, but one of the best ones, we were playing the Yankees. I'm in Cleveland. This still to this day, man. I love the Yankee fans. You know, I played there, great fans, and they are really good at getting on the opposing team. I'm at the plate, Matt, and the whole stadium is chanting Halle Berry. Boom, boom. They had
I swear, I didn't even see that before now. That's crazy. I just picked it out, of thin air. I just knew that's what they were going to say. That's hilarious. That's a baseball chant for real. That is.
Boom. They had the organist was on it. Boom, 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 boom. Halle Berry. That's the first time I've been at a plate like, how you get everybody in this stadium to say it.
That sounds like Yankee fans, huh?
Hey, it was impressive. It was impressive. You know what I mean? And Yankee fans, I know y'all did that to me back then, but y'all know I love y'all.
What did you do? What'd you do that game?
I got out that at bat. I know that much. I didn't get a hit that at bat. That I do remember.
I love it.
He's a great storyteller. Like I had another video with Dave Justice telling stories about black baseball players, the lack of black baseball players. Go check that video out if you get a chance. But Dave Justice, man, maturing gracefully. This is the thing, like he said, she's the bigger star now. But when they were together, he was the biggest star in the house. He was the breadwinner. And so I think that kind of puts it in a different perspective than a lot of people would think about this. You know, like I said, a lot of people in the comments and on X were just whining about the fact that they're like, how you expect her to cook and clean? You expect an Oscar-winning actress to cook and clean? Yes, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. And if you don't, there's a problem with you. There's a problem in your relationship. Like, you know, I'm not saying she got to be a slave cleaning up the house the whole time she's off from set. She walking the red carpet and come home with dishpan hands. Like, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we do things to help each other. You know, I'm going to take off the trash. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But Dave Justice is an Apollo legend for this, man. He is in the Players Hall of Fame. He even starting to sound like a player, you know, in his old age. He like, you know, I'm from the Midwest, so, you know. He definitely had the power in that situation. And that's where you want it. You know what I mean? He got Halle Berry there. And like I said, Halle Berry throughout the years, like I said, there's something else going on with Halle Berry that we don't know. Hollywood's been very good about covering things up, but she's had a lot of relationships very publicly and very tumultuous, you know, and she's now in something with Van Hunt that seems to be pretty okay, but then they did that weird thing where they did the ad for personal lubrication on Mother's Day. I did a video on that too. None of y'all watched that one, but that was a funny video. I might link it here too. But like, you just have to really do the math on why this situation was what it was. He deserves to tell his side of the story. After all these years, he waited 30 some years before he said anything. And now he's out here and he has something to say. And I think it's respected. Great video. If you want to watch the rest of the Dave Justice interview, it's on All the Smoke on their YouTube channel. Go check that out. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. This is Fawcett Media.